of a boat involved in the riverfront brawl over a dockside been filed against summary charges have been filed against the co-captain of a boat involved in the riverfront brawl over a dockside parking spot back in July. In a new complaint, one of the original defendants, Zachary Shipman, alleges that he was not attempting to fight and was just defending himself against the co-captain, Dameion Pickett. Shipman says that he suffered a bruised cheekbone after Pickett allegedly punched him in the face. Online court records show that Pickett has been charged with assault in the third degree. He has not yet entered a plea.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Hamilton County courtroom, prosecutors are arguing that rap lyrics should be allowed to be used as evidence in the YSL RICO trial.
So the defense for Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, and 5 other defendants charged with racketeering want to keep those lyrics out. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates is live outside the courthouse and is going to join us with the latest arguments. Bobeth?
Well, Ron and Jennifer, that's exactly right. The state wants rapper Young Thug's own words to be part of the YSL case against him and the remaining 5 other defendants. Now, during today's hearing, the district attorney argued lyrics from the remaining defendants are not protected under the Constitution and should be admissible in court. The defendants, who are part of Young's Slime Life, also known as YSL, maintain they are a rap label and their lyrics are an expression of art. But during the court hearing, the state said several songs and music video appearances by the defendants detail criminal acts that are not art at all, but proof of crimes. And as we speak, attorneys for the defense are refuting the claims. Take a listen.
So what does Bodies on Bodies have to do with the murder of Donovan Thomas? Nothing. Nothing. Why is it here? It's here because it's prejudicial. The state knows this. That's why it's here. That's why rap music is introduced. That's why no other genre is introduced, because rap music is inherently prejudicial.
Now, again, this hearing is still going on right now. We do not know if the judge will continue through the end of the night. Earlier, we were told that they were going to recess and continue this another day, but they've continued to hear arguments on this. So we'll wait to see what the judge does, if he decides, and if lyrics will be allowed to be used in this case. Sending it back to you.
All right. First tonight at 5, we now know rap lyrics will be used in the gang and racketeering trial against Atlanta rapper Young Thug and 5 co-defendants. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Jennifer Bellamy.
And I'm Faith Jesse. So the judge deciding the songs are relevant to determine gang affiliation. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates was in court and she has new details tonight.
That's right. After nearly 9 hours of discussion on whether rap lyrics should be included, Judge Uriel Granville ruled that many of the rap songs are not protected under the First Amendment and are admissible.
This particular gang lyrics or evidence is admissible for several reasons.
Judge Uriel Granville says he will allow the use of rap lyrics as part of the evidence in the RICO case against Jeffrey Williams, also known as rapper Young Thug, and his other 5 co-defendants.
I done did the robbing, I done did the jacking, now I'm full rapping.
That was rapper Young Thug performing his song Just How It Is, and the words you just heard are among the 17 sets of lyrics from songs he as well as the other co-defendants performed that will be included as part of the evidence in this case.
I don't care about no cop, I'm telling you just how it is.
Some of the other lyrics include I shot his mommy, now he no longer mentions me, and I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body. I told them to shoot 100 rounds. In that lyric, Young Thug goes on to rap I'm a general, which the state believes proves YSL is a gang and that Young Thug is its leader. But the defendants say Young Slime Life is a rap label and the lyrics are just an expression of art and is protected.
The First Amendment protects an individual's right to speak his mind, regardless of whether the government considers his speech sensible, as well as intended or deeply misguided.
The defense also argued the use of the lyrics is racist and discriminatory and will unfairly poison the jury against the defendants, but the court disagreed.
That rap lyrics are relevant. Terms and or symbols or signs may be appropriate and relevant, giving meaning to gang determination.
Today's hearing also included the certification of many of the expert witnesses that will be testifying during the trial. Sending it back to you.
A lot of people have thoughts about this case. You can read more about the judge's ruling made today and read the lyrics that were included in this case, that will be included, rather. You can click on this story on 11.
Okay, what's up, family? Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream in the cosmos here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Smash up the likes. I need everybody to hit that like, share, and subscribe button right now. And good day, good day, good day. Of course, I would like to, if you have not, I'm not a man who begs, but if you like me for my time, then pay me for my time. I'm worth my time. You know, YouTube is taking the money away from a brother. So please drop something in the Cash App, the PayPal or Zelle. Special shout out to Darius from Atlanta. I haven't seen you in a while, man. I hope you've been doing good. And looks like you changed your avatar so nobody can. You took your picture on a glare, man. Damn. Got a silhouette. I don't know. Shout out to One Who Cares, Emperor. I'm awaiting, I guess, Danielle to come in. She'll be on. She might be at work, or so forth, as well as Computer Robots. I know he likes to come in. Let's tune in now and bring in our brother, the author extraordinaire, the man who's written 75 books.
Listening to the podcast some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who are in good hands with us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You got the news on there?
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you. You mind turning it down a little bit?
All right.
You want to do a plug-in right now, man? Let's see you. Go ahead and do your plug-in.
All right. You can pick up the SJS Direct 2023 books on paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com and other online booksellers like Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play.
And you also can get books like The Man Crisis and Woman Crisis. Yeah. Man, you paying attention? They got an election going on in New York. What's going on?
I haven't really paid much attention to it.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. All right. That's cool, man. Good to see you. A lot going on in the last, I want to say 24 hours with these stories. So I'll talk about this first. Let's do this, Shawn. Young Thug. Now, I'm not a fan of Young Thug. I'm not really a big fan of hip-hop. Let me rephrase that. I like hip-hop. I don't like what it is today. Is that a better way of putting it? I don't like what it has become in recent years, and especially in the way it's been directed towards our community and our people. And Young Thug who is out in Atlanta, and you just saw the story, he is facing some legal issues right now. Fannie Willis, who is the district attorney of Fulton County, has issued, of course, making a RICO case based off Young Thug's affiliation with his record company. Judge Ural Glanville, who you just saw in that video, has ruled that 17 sets of lyrics mentioned in the indictment, in the prosecutors and the grand jury indictment, can be used against Young Thug and his other co-defendants in the case, and can be preliminarily admitted in the trial, which was, of course, which the issue was the defense filed a motion, which is basically, I believe, it's a motion in limine to keep the prosecutors from admitting this into evidence. Brian Steele, who is Young Thug's attorney, by ABC News, they actually had this, that the prosecution's use of the hip hop star's lyrics in this case is racist and discriminatory because it could prejudice a jury against his client and prevent him from having a fair trial, a right that is protected by the Sixth Amendment in the Constitution, the United States Constitution. He also said it violates his constitutional rights to free speech and due process and cannot be used as evidence of a crime if they are simply connected to music, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and poetry. And we all know that Young Thug has been charged basically with a racketeering influence and with the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act for the state of Georgia, which he has pled not guilty to. Now, Young Thug was one of 28 people, or 29 people, with Young Slim Life gang. That's who they say he was associated with, which authorities say he founded in 2012, and they're charged with conspiring to violate the state's Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organizations Act. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, a couple years ago, back in 2021, Paul Howard was running for re-election. And Paul Howard lost that race for re-election by a large margin. And Paul Howard was the one who was prosecuting those officers that shot at the brother at the Wendy's. You know who I'm talking about? Who's the one that was killed at the Wendy's that they burned down up in Atlanta?
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, I can find it. That was Rashard Brooks. And his family got awarded $1 million by the city of Atlanta for that shooting in 2020. That's what that was. And remember, the attorneys in that case, I believe one of them represented those officers, and they weren't prosecuted, by the way. I believe that lawyer gave some money to Fannie Willis's campaign, donations. So that tells you, Shawn, elections do have consequences. Voting has consequences. And so you should vote, especially out in Atlanta. And a lot of people think when we say no tangibles, no vote, which I agree with, but there's an asterisk to that, which is when it comes to your local elections, those do matter and affect you and have even a bigger impact than your federal elections. And when there is someone, especially in office, who's going to do something for you, if they are doing it, and it looked like Paul Howard was doing it, I would have gone around, I would have voted for him. I threw money on his campaign myself, right? So, because Fannie Willis apparently is going after Young Thug out in Atlanta, but she's not prosecuting these cops that shot this man. She's not prosecuting, she didn't prosecute those guys. So what we have here, Shawn, with Young Thug, with the rap lyrics being introduced, this reminds me of a case a decade ago. If you remember Lil Boosie, the rapper who's out in my home state, from my home state of Louisiana, based in Baton Rouge. Boosie was actually accused, his real name is Torrance Hatch, was accused of murder. And He was actually arrested back in 2010. He was indicted on a first-degree murder charge and was sentenced to 10 years on multiple charges of drug possession with intent to distribute, but he was found not guilty of murder. I distinctly remember this. And they used his rap lyrics against him. Remember, I don't know if you've heard this, but they used it because they were trying to say that he had ordered the hit out of an individual by the name of Terry Boyd. And had he been convicted, he would have likely been eligible for the death penalty. They also accused him of being involved with several other murders. And I remember they tried to use his rap lyrics in the case against him, which I think they did bring in. But nevertheless, he was acquitted, right? So what we have here, Shawn, with Young Thug and what's going on with him and his charges, he looks like he's fighting an uphill battle. And I'll let you have the floor. Shawn.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'll let you have the floor.
Well, the whole thing with Young Thug is that he made a deal with the devil, which is white supremacy. Now, Young Thug, like many rappers, thought that he was going to elevate his social status by talking about all the crimes he committed, but he didn't understand in the system of white supremacy, anything that you say can and will be used against you. And while he was out here rapping about all the crimes that he said he committed in all of those rap songs, what he was doing was creating a written and oral record of his alleged crimes that was going to be turned around and used against him by the system of white supremacy when they never had a use for him or when they finished having their use for him. And that's what's happening right now, is that the white supremacists, they no longer need a Young Thug anymore. So what they're doing is taking the Young Thug and getting ready to set him up for doing life in prison with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, and they're using his own words against him. That's what's happening here to the Young Thug, and it's something I said would have happened to one of these gangster rappers eventually, because when you go out here and you're making these songs, you're thinking you're entertaining people, but what white supremacy is doing is creating a record of your actions. And eventually they can go out here and take all of the words you present in the lyrics of that song and have a prosecutor use them against you. And this is why a person who understands the entertainment business understands the game is chess, not checkers or Candyland like this guy, Young Thug, was playing. Young Thug was trying to be the Young Thug that was entertaining to the white masses, not understanding that when it comes to white supremacy, they always, when they have a toy, they find a way to break it. And now they're breaking the Young Thug toy by using the RICO laws against him and looking to use the RICO laws against the Young Thug to turn him into an old inmate who will be turned out by Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, and Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles if he is convicted. And what's really sad is he didn't really understand in this game of chess in the entertainment industry, you don't go out here making confessions to crimes, because if you're out here making confessions to crimes in your records, chances are the system of white supremacy will take those confessions to crimes that you made in a song and turn them into evidence in a district attorney's case or a U.S. attorney's case to be used against you. And that's why you have to be careful about what you're saying in the media, because everything that you say in this media can and will be used against you. You cannot go out here and just be saying all sorts of stuff, because people will look for a way to use it in a lawsuit. So Young Thug, when he was young, wasn't thinking about what was coming to happen to him when he got older. And now he's dealing with what happens to the Young Thug in the system of white supremacy. The Young Thug, when he becomes an old man, becomes broken by the system of white supremacy, when they're finished playing with a tool, they always break the tool. And when you make a deal with the devil known as white supremacy, like Eddie Griffin said, you're never coming out clean. And this is their way of dirtying up Young Thug before they send him to the penitentiary.
No black man leaves the entertainment business clean. But I want to say this: what do you think of DA Fannie Willis out there in Atlanta?
Well, that's what DAs do. DAs are opportunists, and they look for people. They look for.
Well, let me just say specifically, like she is an opportunist, but when they replaced her with Paul Howard, replaced Paul Howard for her, and he was going after those cops, and you see the result now. She's going after the rappers in Atlanta.
Yeah, she's a bootlick, and that's what bootlicks do, and that's why you have to pick your own candidates and vote for your own candidates. And that's the problem here. A lot of black folks don't understand that with the local races, that's what you need to vote for. I mean, you got to pick the candidates. Again, this is about not just about part of getting the tangibles is picking your candidates and not taking these hand-picked shills, because the hand-picked shills, what they're going to do is what this woman is doing, going after rappers instead of going after the Pookies and Ray Rays that terrorize the neighborhood. So we need to be the ones taking in charge of who we pick. And that was the sad part about the Paul Howard situation. He was trying to help black people, but black people got to go out here and start looking to help themselves.
Yeah. Speaking of which, y'all, this is everybody wants to know why I say that about hip hop, why I'm like this. This is proof right here. I'm not playing the music, but what's special about this?
Nothing at all. That's just a porn show.
It looked like two eggs trying to crack and being smashed each other. Damn.
It's a modern minstrel show.
And she's pregnant doing that.
Yep, modern minstrel show. But this is what the white folks want to see as related to black rappers.
This is what this is what's marketed towards black people. This is why the music industry is in bad shape the way it is, because they have no talent hacks and they push debauchery and hood shit.
Yep. I miss the days of MC Light and Monie Love and actual rap music by women who could speak their minds.
I miss the time when Queen Latifah didn't have money and was rapping good. I mean, her Sister Soldier. And
people only live through the 80s and listen to real rap music by women rappers. They see a whole different story.
Yeah. But the record industry, this is what they push though, Shawn. I think we got to understand this. Black people, like for the first time in 2013, it's my understanding that did you know that in 2013, a black person was not even #1 on the Billboard charts? And that even includes R&B.
That's sad.
That was because Robin Thicke had that. Robin Thicke came out with Blurred Lines, right?
Yeah.
And Billboard, we've already talked about Billboard. Remember, they took Mike. They didn't even have Thriller on their top 10 spooky hits. The editor of Billboard didn't even have Thriller in the top 20. And I think we know why. They're still jealous of the fact that this black man outsmarted them in terms of the business side. I'm talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He was smart and he was astute in music publishing and how you made money outside of singing songs. There was a business side to the music industry. He was one of the few artists that understood that, and he took advantage. So they're jealous of that. But no, they want to keep you dumbed down. They want to keep you stupid. That's why they promote this stuff. But yeah. Anyway, that's that with Young Thug. I don't know his attorneys and so forth, but I'm sure they have an uphill battle, and looks like they're fighting. But yeah, Young Thug needs to. I don't know too much about the case and how strong it is, but I don't think that. I'll just say this: I don't believe that judge is in their favor if he's allowing that.
Yeah, it's rigged for him to be going to prison for some time.
You never know. He may luck up. All right. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about that. And then this other thing came on now. Of course, the video, I'm going to get to this video of, we're going to get to our main topic about Dameion Pickett. But I do want to bring this to your attention, guys. How many of you remember this woman right here? Marilyn Mosby. Who remembers her? In the chat. Marilyn Mosby was the woman who was the attorney general. If you remember when Freddie Gray got killed, she prosecuted those officers. Do you remember that? And,
yeah, I remember that.
Well, Marilyn Mosby has just been indicted. Was indicted by a federal grand jury on 4 counts of perjury for making false statements on loan applications. Do you know that today, ladies and gentlemen, she was convicted on 2 counts of perjury and remains charged with 2 counts of making a false statement on a loan application. This is coming out of Fox 45 Baltimore. Just saw this on my alert today. I wanted to share it with y'all. I actually just saw this. So y'all, let's listen.
Recapping, there is a verdict in the Marilyn Mosby trial.
That's right. She has been found guilty of 2 counts of perjury. We are waiting for her and her legal team to emerge from the Greenbelt courtroom, the federal courthouse there in Greenbelt, I should say. Also, we will hope to hear from prosecutors in this case as well, in terms of what they presented to the jury and why the jury did indeed believe the evidence against Marilyn Mosby.
Here they come. Here they come.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Here they come. Here they come.
We actually are going to
stay here for a moment.
We are told that Marilyn Mosby and her team are going to be walking out the courthouse in just a moment. And we don't know if she's going to speak or not. So we will just linger and see if that will happen.
There she is behind attorneys and others.
Mr. Water, do you have any comment?
That's the public defender.
Do you plan to appeal this?
I want to say to the people of Baltimore,
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I have nothing else to say.
Ms. Mosby, were you surprised by the verdict?
Ms. Mosby, do you plan to appeal this ruling?
Mr. White, what are the steps? It seems upsetting. It is upsetting.
You can see there, Marion Kai. Marilyn Mosby just got into her vehicle after not really addressing the media. The only answer we got from her was that she was feeling blessed, which is a very common phrase that we have heard from her throughout this entire trial. Each day we've asked questions and she just says that she's blessed. We tried to get some answers from her defense attorney, James Wida, the federal public defender, but you saw there he wasn't really taking any questions. We asked him if he planned to file an appeal, again, not answering any question. So it's really unclear what happens next here. We're still waiting to find out what's going on in terms of sentencing, and then awaiting a trial date for those 2 mortgage fraud charges that Marilyn Mosby still faces. And we expect that the verdict from this case will play into the mortgage fraud trial if and when
how this all started way before even we had a trial date. We had different attorneys, this high-profile, high-priced legal team. They held press conferences. Marilyn Mosby went on national news programs and spoke out. And now, I guess it's not a big surprise. She's just, they're not talking, and clearly her public defenders aren't as well. It's just a big contrast.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely. It's a major contrast. I mean, if you remember, her previous defense attorney, A. Scott Bolden, faced court sanctions because of the comments that he made on the courthouse steps at the federal courthouse in Baltimore, made some explicit comments talking about these proceedings. And going back just a little bit further, talking about how quick Marilyn Mosby and her legal defense team were publicly saying that they were ready to take this to trial. She was not shy about talking about this case. She made public comments coming in and out of the courtroom for those various hearings for months leading up to this trial date. And now she is staying quiet. Her defense attorney hasn't said a word to the media throughout this entire trial. Just a very stark contrast to where we started this entire case almost 2 years ago.
I'm Kai Jackson.
So, and she had a public defender. So she didn't have, she had a private attorney originally, and he was, I guess, dismissed from the case. Wow. I don't know anything about it. If she did lie on some documents, if she did withdraw, basically she was accused of withdrawing money from a program that was designed to help those from the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's what that's about. But wow, they're accusing her of taking over $90,000 of her deferred compensation funds under the CARES Act. And she's claiming she falsified COVID-19 related financial hardship request. Interesting enough, the charge in the case involving alleged lying on her mortgage applications for 2 vacation homes in Florida each carry a maximum of 30 years in federal prison. So she hasn't resolved that. These were just the perjury charges. Wow. I didn't even know this was going on. I'll just say this much. I don't know her guilt or innocence. I do know this one thing, Shawn. The white supremacists never like to take L's.
No.
Or even if they take an, or even if they win, they don't like when you fight them. So
yep.
I don't know too much about it. I don't like to comment on it, but I just wanted to play that story because I remember when she was prosecuting those involved in the Freddie Get Great case. And of course, those men were acquitted. But I just think that's hella interesting. So.
Look like another toy broken by the white supremacists.
Yeah. But this time she went, well, apparently she was going against the cops though in that Freddie Gray incident though, Shawn.
Yeah, but she was forced to do that after the rioting. She really didn't want to do anything in the beginning.
You don't think so?
No. They were all hesitant to do anything. It wasn't until the riots came out that they went out here and did a little something, then got the acquittal and thought they could go back to business as usual. And then what happened is that they thought they had some sort of privilege with white supremacy, but then they just looked to break another toy.
Well, I don't know about her being a broken toy, but well, she's about to get, if she's convicted on that other, on those falsifying document charges, she'll be completely broken.
Yeah.
She's gonna lose her law license to practice. That's another thing. When you get convicted of crimes like that, of that nature, they'll just take your license from you.
Yep.
So, shame. So it has been crazy, man. So all these prosecutors, this stuff we having, and I want to get back to our main topic, what I wanted to discuss with you. Those of you who saw the video earlier, the co-captain in the Montgomery Brawl, that infamous incident that went viral this past summer, where we saw Dameion Pickett get attacked by several white individuals whose boats were illegally parked. Boat was illegally parked in an area where his boat, the Harriot II, was trying to dock. He has now been charged with third-degree assault. You've heard that correctly. According to court documents, Zachary Shipman is alleging he was not trying to fight and was just defending himself against the co-captain, Dameion Pickett. Originally, Dameion Pickett and a 16-year-old individual, the one who we saw swimming to help his friend, Dameion, while he was being attacked, were named as victims in the original complaint. But now a new complaint has come out where Shipman, who was an original defendant, and is still facing trial, is now pressing charges against Dameion Pickett. Now, everybody has seen this video. It's gone viral. We talked about it the whole time. And now this man is facing charges basically for defending himself, in my opinion.
Montgomery charges have been filed against the co-captain of a boat involved in the riverfront brawl over a dockside parking spot back in July. In a new complaint, one of the original defendants, Zachary Shipman, alleges that he was not attempting to fight and was just defending himself against the co-captain, Dameion Pickett. Shipman says that he suffered a bruised cheekbone after Pickett allegedly punched him in the face. Online court records show that Pickett has been charged with assault in the third degree. He has not yet entered a plea.
Now, according to a statement, I do have an update. Now, Pickett was served with a summons on October 26th to appear in court on November 21st for an arraignment. Arraignment is when you plead guilty or not guilty. And according to WSFA, the city of Montgomery and the police department released a statement making it clear that they did not file charges against him. So I'm looking at this now, and what they're stating here is that the city of Montgomery and Montgomery Police Department has been made aware that one of the individuals involved in the incident at the Montgomery Riverfront Park on August 5th, 2023, has filed charges against Harriot II co-captain Dameion Pickett. Neither the city nor the Montgomery Police Department filed these charges. Montgomery's Police Department's investigation only lists Mr. Pickett as a victim. So I'm confused, though, if he were not charged by the city and the police department, then why was a summons issued for him to appear in court on November 21st for an arraignment? Shipman has not had his trial yet, but Shipman is complaining that he wasn't trying to fight Pickett, but was defending himself and suffered a bruised cheekbone after Pickett allegedly punched him in the face. Everybody, we see this video here.
That guy in the white shirt.
He went there. He moved the boat. He told them to move. They wouldn't. They docked there.
To go over there to move that.
Everybody saw this, right? So let me mute it. Everybody sees this video. Now, nowhere in this, and of course we can't hear what is being said, but as far as I can see from this video, and that's Dameion Pickett, he's identified himself there. We do not see him threatening anybody. I don't see him putting his hands on anybody. Let's put it that way. And now here comes one individual talking to him about moving, and they're arguing about it. There's another individual, a woman right there, and this person's right here behind him. So they're arguing. Here comes the other individual. So they had an argument. It's not physical yet. Although, if anything, from looking at it, it's the white folks, the people on the pier, who basically instigate the confrontation, as far as I can see. as far as we've seen this. Now, in this part of the video, you're going to see the attack on Mr. Pickett. So he walks back. Another person still comes. They're still complaining. There's several individuals. So here's where it goes south. Watch this. Now, he's attacked. He's attacked. One, two, three, four. He pushes that right wall. The other guy they come and attack this person. Now that's when all hell broke loose. And we got Dameion Pickett being accused of a crime. Now, the city says that they didn't issue this arrest warrant. They're saying that it's the complainant who made this. They are not charging him. But again, I have to ask Mayor Stephen Reed and Chief Darrell Albert why the summons was issued. If he's claiming self-defense, and by that I mean Shipman, then he can claim that. But you all are the ones, especially as the prosecutors, that make the decision whether or not a person will be charged or not. Because I don't understand this. Is he can't make a citizen's arrest? It's been 3 months. So I'm shocked but not surprised by this. Shawn, I want your opinion and take on it, because this sounds like white supremacy at work to me again. And you got a black mayor in Reed, Stephen Reed, who is saying one thing, and they clarified it. But I'm trying to figure out, again, why is a summons being issued?
Well, this looks like white supremacy looking to try to punish a black man for asserting himself and a black man asserting his authority as a co-captain. What is upsetting to this person who made this charge is the fact that this black man had the audacity to do his job, and what the white supremacists want to do is punish this black man for basically doing his job. So what's happening here is that these cowards know they have no case with the DA. They can't really get a case to a grand jury. So they create this summons as a technicality so that they can go out here and punish this black co-captain for doing his job. So what's happening here is that white supremacy is creating its own set of rules because they know that they can't use the courts. And what's really sad here is that you got a bootlicking mayor and DA who aren't going to stand up for the law. No, these cowards are just going to let these white supremacists try to create their own rules to get their own revenge, even though they were the ones who were clearly in the wrong. Because I would say they were in the wrong because this dude basically instigated this entire incident by going out here and docking his boat in a space where it wasn't supposed to be. Right. And when the co-captain went out here and was looking to do his job, he wants to attack this captain And the only reason why he would have attacked him is because he's a black man and a black man with power. That's the main reason why this guy was mad at the whole situation. Here was this black man who had the audacity to come out here and make a statement and again assert his authority. And they want to punish this black man for asserting his authority because he had the audacity to say, hey, this boat needs to be docked in a place where it needs to be. So this whole case of this so-called summons is a technicality because they know if they arrest this man, they're going to have the ancestors coming down there again. And the ancestors maybe need to come down there again and bring down the wrath of the ancestors once more, because this white supremacist coward, he's going to try to go through things with these technicalities, creating his own set of laws, not following the laws of the Constitution. And what's really sad here is that you got a bootlicking mayor and DA going along to get along instead of saying there's no case for this summons, no case for any of this at all, because they were in the wrong. They were the ones who instigated the incident. They were the ones who threw the first punch. They were the ones who perpetrated violence against this co-captain. And this whole situation is again designed to humiliate, embarrass, and emasculate this black man and take away his power. That's what this whole incident is all about. That's what this whole summons is all about. It's a message to send to a black man that if you go out here and assert your authority, we will punish you for asserting your authority, and we will punish you for standing up for yourself like the chairman did. This is all about trying to take away a black man's power, but we have to stand up and say that we're not going to allow that our power to be taken because we were in the right, and we're supposed to be living under rule of law, not the system of white supremacy where people arbitrarily make up their own laws and make up their own rules. No, this is time for black folks to insist that the law be held and that there be actual criminal charges that are in a district attorney's court, not some summons that is made up in a police station. No, what we want is a clear legal case made by a prosecutor, a clear legal sense of case, because if you don't have any sort of clear legal case, then this entire thing needs to be thrown out because it's a violation of this man's due process of law. This needs to go through a prosecutor and a grand jury, not be something, oh, I'm making something up because I want to make it up. No, this is something that this guy needs to fight in the courts because this is a clear violation of his civil rights. It's a violation of his right to due process under the law. It's a violation of his overall constitutional rights.
Violation of his human rights to defend himself.
Yeah, violation of his human rights, and he needs to push back on this because this is a clear case of white supremacy looking to just make up their own stuff, and we can't allow them to make up the rules because if they make up the rules, this is what they used to do during Jim Crow. And the sad part is, if this is done while black people are in power, then we have to really look at this and say, hey, this is out of control. And this is something that black folks really need to check right now.
Right. Well, you know, in Alabama, third-degree assault is basically a person who commits the crime of assault in the third degree if with the intent to cause physical injury to another person, he causes physical injury to any person, or he recklessly causes physical injury to another person. With criminal negligence, he causes physical injury to another person by means of a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument, or with intent to prevent a peace officer from performing a lawful duty, he causes physical injury to any person. Assault in the third degree is a Class A misdemeanor. Now, that is the legal definition or the law of Alabama. Now, when we say what might have happened, and my thinking, Shawn, is if he is alleging this complaint, I don't know what the process is over there, but he must have filed some type of document, a criminal complaint alleging this. And my guess is the only thing it could be, I can think of something remotely like this, might have been some type of citizen's arrest charge, but I don't know if what Alabama's policy is on that, how that even happens. I know that particular criminal prosecutions don't happen unless a prosecutor issues it. A city could be a city prosecutor, it could be a district attorney, something like that, or an attorney general.
Yeah, but when I look at the case, it's like none of that applies here. It's like all the definitions of third-degree assault, none of this applies here. It's just like a malicious thing.
Right. But it's right because it would be self-defense. Obviously, you have a game. What you saw in that video, that was a game. Those were thugs. That's real thugs and hooligans. They attacked someone because they were drunk and belligerent, and he's telling them to move. And you didn't move, and you attacked him. Y'all all didn't. No one pulled him off except the black man trying to step through, and one other individual I saw. But you had about 3 or 4 people kicking him, man. And this bitch was part of it. So was this asshole. They pled guilty a few weeks ago. Remember this story.
Today in the Riverfront Brawl case, 4 of the people charged appeared in court. One of the men said sorry and entered a guilty plea. Joining us right now, WFPA's 12 News anchor Rosanna Smith. And Rosanna, you were in the courtroom when Richard Roberts apologized. Tell us more.
Val, he spoke directly to Dameion Pickett, the co-captain of the Harriot II, and the 16-year-old deckhand. Roberts apologized for his actions and told Pickett he believed they would be friends under different circumstances. Now, the brawl broke out after a dispute of a dockside spot for boats in August. The 16-year-old deckhand was injured in this case, along with his mother. They testified. One accusation we heard previously was that racial slurs were used before the brawl started. Now, both testified that Roberts was not the one who made the slurs. Today, Roberts pled guilty to assault. Mary Todd also entered a guilty plea for harassment. Roberts initially took his case to trial, but during a recess reached that plea deal. His attorney says they're glad this is behind them.
You know, I think it's ready just to move on and get on with our lives. And I think today, you know, there's been no appeal, and he's accepted responsibility. And again, appreciate the city for the plea agreement and working it out.
Roberts received a 4-month suspended sentence. He'll serve weekends only in Perry County. That starts next Saturday. Mary Todd will go through anger management. Now,
all right, Rosanna, now there are 3 other people charged. Where do their cases stand right now?
well, Val, Alan Todd and Zachary Shipman were in court today. Their cases were moved to next month. And the 5th suspect, Reggie Ray, is also expected in court next month. And Ray is the one seen on video allegedly hitting a woman with a folding chair. We've learned that woman is Robert's wife. Ray is only charged with disorderly conduct and not assault. Richard's attorney says Robert's wife did not press charges against Ray and does not plan to. Val?
All right, Rosanna, thank you for the update.
So what you had with that, basically Shipman is being, what I think it is Shipman's being charged and going to trial. He wants him to get charged too.
Yeah, it's tit for tat. He wants to make him suffer because he's suffering.
So they can get it dismissed. Yeah. Lindell Moore said Marilyn Mosby withdrew money from her retirement account and they are trying to make it seem like fraud. It's horrible. I got to look more into it, guys, before I comment, but I just saw that news. That's interesting. They're also saying she falsified documents, which would mean, as you know, that's more stiffer penalty. She's got facing those charges, which she could face 30 years from. All right. Something else I want to talk about, Shawn. They had the Republican debates last night for president. I didn't watch it. I don't know if you did, and I don't think anybody did, but Larry Elder has bowed, couldn't even make the debates. He's bowed out. He doesn't even have 1%. Couldn't even get 1% to back him up. And Vivek Ramaswamy, or Ramaswamy, whatever the hell his name is I don't think I know for a fact he's not going to win. He has no shot. But Larry Elder stepped down, and you got him, Vivek, and Nikki Haley were going back and forth. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna play that, but she called him a scumbag. She called him scum. Let's uh let's play that for Let me play that for y'all. I think this is the video.
Different generation is going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels? Her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time, so you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice. You're just
easy
scum.
Can you take a minute to just reflect on that moment? What was going through your head?
Look, I'm a mom. I'm a mom. So the second that you go and you start saying something about my 25-year-old daughter, I'm going to get my back up.
He called you Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels. Do you think that was sexist?
I don't even give him the time of day. He has proven that he is just not worthy of being president of the United States.
Wow. In the meantime, you know what's going on as well right now, Shawn. People are flocking. Black men are flocking now to the Republican Party. Did you know that at least 22% in polls, they say at least 22% of the black vote looks like they would vote for Donald Trump, which is shocking because to many people, especially, they know black people are always loyal to the Democrats. That's who we've always been loyal to, per se. And you have people and fools in their shields like Charlemagne the God. I saw this on Wednesday morning on the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne actually was talking, I guess, to some callers, talking about how the Democrat, you got one party that seems to be the one that wants to preserve democracy and stand for rights, which he's talking about the Democrats, which they clearly don't, because they promote fascism on a daily basis. And you're allowing illegal immigrants, especially in these cities, to come in and get unearned monies. That's how a democracy folds. And the United States is not a democracy. The United States, by definition, is a republic. When you pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, they say, and to the republic for which it stands. Remember?
Yep.
We are a republic. But they say Biden is losing support among black voters. And black men are coming to Donald Trump. Now, regardless of how you feel about Trump and so forth, I think a lot of people are I think what it is too is that people are dissatisfied with Joe Biden, and they certainly are not impressed with Kamala Harris. And The Hill even wrote this article 16 hours ago. They said why Biden shouldn't be taking black voter support for granted. This is an article by The Hill. They say a new poll shows President Biden is struggling with black voters as Democratic strategists urging the campaign to increase its outreach to a crucial demographic, while black conservatives see an opportunity for the GOP to siphon support for their own candidates. 22%, ladies and gentlemen, this is according to the New York Times and Siena College, show that 22% of black voters in 6 battleground states, I talked about them last night, Georgia, Arizona, I believe they even did Wisconsin, they did Ohio, those battleground states that they all talk about each year. They found 22% of black voters in those battleground states said they would support former President Donald Trump. Trump won 8% of the black vote in 2020 and 6%. And let's be real, more black men voted for Donald Trump than I think black women. That's a fair assessment of that, right?
Yeah.
They say Biden's campaign recently launched radio ads across black-owned stations in battleground states, and Vice President Harris took a month-long tour of HBCUs to hear from young black voters and to emphasize whether the administration has succeeded its racial justice promises. Do you think they have succeeded their racial justice promises?
They haven't done anything.
They have not. And they say black men, here, look carefully, who are made up a substantial part of Trump's 2020 black voter support, are not as mobilized by these issues as other demographics in the community, Woodbury says. The other issues that we have identified according to Black PAC, they talk about racial equity and the rise of white supremacy, access to affordable education, and reproductive rights. We aren't worried about that. What does reproductive rights have to do with us as black men? Our affordable education. Whenever we talk about tangibles, when we talk about reparations, we're talking about money. You say you can't do it for us, but now you have approved monies for the Ukraine. You've approved billions of dollars to go to Israel. You've approved monies, let's not also forget, different ethnic groups. I know Native Americans have had bills enacted so that they could get money. You had the Asian hate crimes bill that was passed in 2021. So you seem to find time to pass things for non-black people, but when we ask for something, we need a study. We need this. We don't need a damn study on reparations. They've told you about it. House Bill 40 that has been sitting up there. There should be no study. We know what it is. Fire said that while Democrats, and Biden in particular, face a challenge with black voters, it's unlikely that will support Trump at more than 20% in 2024. You think? Who is this? Who is Fire? Who is Fire saying this stuff? You say that they are the party that has openly embraced white supremacy and white nationalists, and for that fact alone will not see sway black voters in their favor. What has the Democrats supported? I've seen white supremacists with the Democrats. They have used white supremacist talking points for years. This Adrian Fire, who's the executive director of Black PAC, an organization dedicated to mobilizing black voters. We know what that means. I already know what that means. When I see stuff like this to mobilize black voters, we know what they're talking about. Do we, Shawn?
Yep.
Say it.
Well, this whole situation, I think black men need to really think critically before they run from one party to the other. I mean, the ultimate goal for black men is tangibles, and that's what we need to be focused on. And I think that everybody's understanding that with the whole situation with Biden, he did this to himself back in 2020 when he brought all of those black leaders into a room and told them he could do nothing for black people. Once he did that, he basically put a nail in his own coffin as related to his re-election. And he was thinking that he didn't need black voters at the time. He thought he was going to be able to build this coalition of Hispanics and Asians and Arabs, but that has blown up in his face because those groups are either not voting at all, or they come here and they vote red. So it's not gone the way he's expected, and he's alienated the black vote at this point. But this is where black men have to really think critically, because a vote for Trump without a support or a pledge of an agenda is just as useless as a vote for Biden, because the thing that you need to be getting secured are your tangibles from these candidates until you can pick your own, because if you don't get any tangibles secured, then you're going to get the same amount of nothing from Trump that you got from Biden. So the goal is to get your tangibles guaranteed before you vote. And this is the thing that's flying over many black voters' heads, especially black men. U.S., you've been disrespected by Joe Biden, who told you he can't do anything for you. But the whole thing is you have no guarantee of tangibles from Donald Trump. And our goal isn't about supporting the candidate. It's about getting the tangibles. And if none of the candidates are pledging to give us any tangibles, then we can sit out 2024's national election, because the ultimate goal for us needs to be tangibles. Because if they could find money for Israelis, find money for Ukrainians, find money for migrants who aren't citizens of this country, then we don't vote until the tangibles show up. And that's our goal, not out here looking to, oh, we're going to go from one candidate to the other, because that's the definition of insanity, doing the exact same thing and expecting a different result, because what you're doing is going from one party to the other. And if you go from one party to the other, what you're getting is the same amount of nothing, because you haven't secured your tangibles at the table.
No, you have not secured your tangibles at the table. And this black pack, this is Adrian Fire right here. I think this is her on the left. So download a headshot of her. Okay, that's her on the, so this is her here. She's the woman on the right that made that remark that she didn't see more than 20% voting for Donald Trump. She's already basically stated, I got them in my, I don't see it happening. They belong to us.
She's taking the vote for granted, and that's the
They're
thing.
taking this for granted. And that's what did them in 2016.
Yep. That's the blue party. They just think, oh, everybody's got to vote for us. They're in denial about the State of the Union. They're living in their own world, and the reality's got to hit them once more, sadly, and they don't get it.
Yeah. I am certainly myself, whether I would vote for Donald Trump, I'll just put it to you like this. My vote is for sale. And if any of these people, if anybody offers some tangibles, something substantial that I could use that they're going to benefit me and my people or my family, I will give them my vote. But if not, I'm not voting for neither of them. I sure as hell, I think what you might have really, people would vote for Donald Trump and I'm tempted to do so just to spite the Democrats. How dare you think you can take advantage of me? That I'm this monolithic, that I'm part of this conglomerate where we got to think all at once saying, who the hell are you? Why are you not providing us tangibles? Why are you not giving me what we need? So pay attention, folks. We're gonna get blamed if Biden loses. We're gonna get blamed for that. But you know what? Bring it on. We're gonna bring it on.
Can't blame us for what you're doing.
Bring it on, because we're gonna go at you. We've been biting our tongue, holding it back for so long. I say it's time to give them business. You didn't learn your lesson in 2016. Guess what? This is what you see is what you get. Shawn, I'll let you have the last word.
Well, this whole situation with Joe Biden is his own fault. I'll say it again. I mean, he continues to follow the path of Hillary and Barack Obama, who are oblivious and continue to take black people for granted, continue to think that black people are guaranteed. But the whole thing is black folks are tired of being taken for granted. If we're not seeing any tangibles on the table for us, we've got no reason to come out. And that's why black voter turnout has dropped, because he already told you he's not going to do anything. So why should I go out here and vote for someone who's not going to do anything for me? Has put everybody else in front of us. So we're just charging them to the game. And there's no reason to go out here and vote when he just came out here and told you he's not going to do anything for you. So if he's not going to do anything for me, then I can look at Donald Trump. I can look at Robert Kennedy. I can look at other options. And I'm looking at the person who's going to offer the tangibles on the table, like reparations for all of the discrimination foundational black Americans have been denied as related to getting compensation for the job market, and the racism of Jim Crow and the racism of slavery. And I'm also looking for tangibles like an anti-black hate crime bill, because anti-black hate crimes have been going on far longer and continue to go on, but there is no anti-black hate crime law. And I'm also looking for policies that will help black people be able to build businesses and rebuild our family. So if those tangibles are not on the table as part of supporting a black agenda for a candidate or guarantees offered to black people, not some cheesy lift every voice program, not some cheesy grant program. We're talking about serious earmarks of money for Black people, because if you can earmark money and give money through government program from Social Security to all of these people who aren't even citizens, then you have money for Black Americans. And if you can't treat Black people as the citizens they are and give them first-class status, then I got no reason to go out here and vote for any candidate except the one who sees a Black citizen's vote as having the first-class status a Black citizen is supposed to receive in their country that they are a citizen of.
Yeah. Like I said, man, no tangible, no vote. You better offer something to him. Keaton Rourke says it's already begun. A lot of Black folks are staying home on election day. That's because many are fed up and are finally beginning to think. You know, in Louisiana here, Shawn, when we talked about this last week, when Jeff Landry won the race for governor, you know, and Roly Poly was blaming Black men for not coming to show out and vote, Black people. And it was only 18% of the population of Louisiana voting. Black people are not even the majority, so how can you blame them?
Can't blame us for that. That's
Shawn Wilson was not a strong candidate. He didn't even run any campaigns here in New Orleans. I say that because I never saw any TV ads. New Orleans is the biggest populace, especially a Democratic populace in the state, excuse me. And you're not running any TV ads so people know who you are.
They just took Black voters for granted.
Right. All right. We're going to wrap this thing up, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you like what you see, support me for my time, ladies and gentlemen. Donate something in the Cash App. A special shout out goes to Rivon Dennis. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate it. Anybody else, you're free to donate to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. Also purchase the book Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Conklin Jr. Subscribe to our Facebook page. I haven't gotten any sales on those. Wow. But we keep plugging it. And hit that notification bell when we go live. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Shawn, Black Spider, I just did an @ symbol. So at Black Spider, that's how I did it. Like, Shawn, do you know what you're going to be talking about tomorrow on your live stream?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still pondering what the topics will be. I was thinking, I'm just still trying to figure it out because it's like I've got some topics on my mind. It's still up in the air.
All right. And buy, ladies and gentlemen, books from Shawn James. He has over 75 books that he's written. Support him. I think I want to purchase Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. I think that's a good topic. We got to do a whole video segment on these divorce, like all of these people getting divorces, man. Damn. And you saw what happened. Joe Smith, who she was beforehand. You saw that story, huh?
Yep.
Wow, with the OnlyFans. Wow, there's just so much going on. All right. Shawn, thank you again, man. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. And whoever you are, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. This has been another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays here on channel GBoo2786. Smash up the likes again, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you all in the next one. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. Holla. Peace.